welcome to Tormenta Talk, the official podcast of La Tormenta. We are supporters of West Texas FC out here in Midland, Texas. I am Luke McDonald. With me today is Chris Haig and Brian Hodnett. We are proud Tormentors, and we today are wrapping up the kind of roster, talking through the roster. We're going to talk about another NPSL game that happened. And we're also just going to be looking ahead. This episode will likely drop on Friday. And what that means, guys, is that by the time people hear this, our first game is tomorrow against Fort Worth Vaqueros. So make sure. Yeah. So, Brian, where are we going to be on Saturday?
Oh, well, I believe we're going to be at the Tall City Brewery right there. Proud supporter of the club. La Tormenta's coming out in force. We're going to go. We're going to watch. We're going to cheer. Let them hear us in Fort Worth. So I would love to be there, but, man, here we are. Let's go.
Yep.
Make it loud, make it proud.
That's right. That's right. So we have 7 players to get through today. So, Chris, you want to kick us off?
Yeah, for sure. And before mentioning a player, I'll just say as well. So like you said, this will drop on Friday. We're recording on Tuesday. I think it's Tuesday, right? Yeah. So this morning, often on my way to work, depending on the route that I take, sometimes I end up going past the fields that the club practices at. This is the first morning that I was driving past, and I saw them all out there getting ready. They were just getting started with practice at 8 a.m., so that just made me super excited. I saw that, and man, awesome. Here they are. They're here. They're practicing. They're training. We've seen a lot of the players popping up on socials, things like that. So it's just awesome to see that it's here. And like you said, first game is right around the corner, so can't be more excited for that.
Yeah, and make sure you guys follow all the players, right? Go find them on Instagram. Yep. Lucas Fenton, I know, has been posting some fun videos.
That's your boy.
I love him. I love it. It's just fantastic, man.
Man, top notch. Top notch. Sure. Pure class.
That's right. That's right.
So diving into players, though, I know we have a lot to cover. The first player that I'll mention, I think this is the last goalkeeper that we have to cover, and that's Pedro Montañez, who is originally from Spain. So he grew up in Zaragoza, Spain, and he has been playing so last year was his freshman year. He was playing at Goldie Beacom University, which is a D2 school. A name might be familiar. If I go back and look, Daniel Granado, who's also from Spain and plays defense, also plays at Goldie Beacom. So
great connection.
Okay.
Great connection, Spanish connection, defender and goalkeeper coming from the same school. So that's going to build some connection there in the back.
Chemistry.
Exactly. And so last year at Goldie Beacom, Pedro played 9 games. He had 8 starts, had 19 saves, and kind of like a couple of the players I mentioned on the last episode, couldn't find a whole lot of film on Pedro. And that's okay. But one of the things I did notice in the announcement clip or the announcement on socials is Scotty's quote. He was talking about how skilled he is with his feet. And when you hear that about a goalkeeper, that kind of lets you know, well, okay, how are we going to use this player, or what's our style of play going to be? And so I think if we're looking for that play out of the back, distribution from a goalkeeper, that type of thing, Pedro and some of the other goalkeepers as well are going to be able to offer that. And I believe in a couple of clips, we even saw that too in that announcement video where Pedro is receiving at his feet, but playing out of the back, distributing. So it's really going to be interesting how that shapes up with him and the other goalkeepers, and how they utilize them in distribution as well from that back line.
Yeah, and looking at our wingers too, the way those guys, at least on film for their colleges and stuff, have been really, really forward and kind of playing 2 at the back in the offensive kind of state of play. That makes a lot of sense to get keepers who really can handle the ball and kind of be an outlet for those guys who are, flying forward, and it kind of gives you an extra defender back at the back.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sure. Yeah, Brian, who you got?
Let's rock. Usually more prepared. Okay, let's go with Caden Maldonado. 21 years old from Auburndale / Lakeland, Florida. Faulkner guy.
Mm-hmm. Love those Faulkner guys, man.
Yep. Stack them up, right? I mean, no chemistry. Joke. We talked about it.
With the coach, too.
Flow and work together. All right, so he was a defensive fullback, right-footed. He was a late-round captain. The dude is 5'8", 150 pounds. So look at that. That's a small stature, if you think about it. He didn't play that way. On his film, the last 2 seasons at Faulkner, he was 18, 11, and 2. Played at UPSL Lakeland United. On the film, I saw passive with purpose and precision. Smart player, plays bigger than his stature. Dude, he'll bang around a little bit, but he's smart with it. He's not going to throw his body into a dude that's 6'2". We talked about this with Arus, last night. Mm-hmm. He's not going to bang around. He's going to be smart. He's going to take that ball and he's going to move around you. He's going to work you. He's going to put a pass in place, right? And again, limited film, right? So I reached out to Scotty, and he gave me a little bit of a note. So let's see here. Recently made captain of Faulkner. So it wasn't beginning of the season, wasn't mid-season, late season. So he got like 6 starts, I believe, at Faulkner. So captain late. That says something. Very disciplined and a natural leader. Uncanny ability to bring players together on and off the field. That's what you want. I mean, you got to have some glue. Right now we got a bunch of personalities. We're all floating around here. You got to have that glue to bring people together, right? So he's going to be a great addition to the team. If he starts, great. If he's not, coming off the bench, he's going to be a great little addition right there to bring us all together. So let's see where it goes.
That's exciting, man. And there is something to that low center of gravity, right? I mean, there's a reason that nobody can keep up with a guy like Messi, because you can't. A big center back cannot compete with the speed of that low center of gravity and being able to shift super fast. So I think it's interesting when it comes to soccer as opposed to other sports. Being big is not always an advantage. It sometimes is. Just totally depends on the way that you play and where the coach puts you in the position that you're in.
Do you understand leverage? That's a big part, And
with the number of players we have on our roster, too, having players of different sizes, even at that fullback position, how do we want to play? How is the opponent going to play? How do we need to respond? Sure. Different sizes of players even makes a difference. Mm-hmm. Who do we want to put in to accomplish different things?
Yep, and to suit the opposition, right? And a lot of it depends on how they play too. And I'll see your Faulkner guy with another Faulkner guy, Caio Pereira. Dude, let me just say, Sao Paulo, Brazil.
Mm-hmm. Brazil.
Brazil. He's been at Faulkner, working with Coach Scotty for 2 years now. Being a captain, we all know that just means it's another assistant coach that has already worked with this coach. It's a coach out on the pitch, right? Which we have many of, and that alone, like when I think about that skill set in our squad, I see that coming in late in the playoffs, right? Like understanding that phase of game where you've had a rough and tumble season, it's fast and furious, but you've got guys who really have a good head on their shoulders. So I'll read a little bit about Caio. Scotty said, after working with him for 2 years, he cannot speak highly enough of him. Exceptional leader on and off the field, contagious energy. His desire and willingness to win, matched with his talent, make for an exciting prospect in the Lone Star Conference. Mm-hmm. So he is a midfielder. And a different profile of midfielder than we just talked about, because this dude is 6'2". He's a big guy. And the one piece of film that you can see on the West Texas FC Instagram is just a worldie of a shot way outside the 18 box, right in the top corner. If that's not enough just to make you go, okay, I mean, anybody who can do that, anybody who can hit that with confidence, know that they can shoot that ball and put it in the right spot, that's something to admire. Because it's just, if you watch a lot of soccer, maybe you've seen it time and time again, but to see it in person, I'm ready for that shot. I'm ready for Caio. And so besides having that kind of Brazilian flair, captain, worked with Scotty for several years now, I mean, it's just like, what more could you ask for out of a defensive midfielder? And we've seen, if you watch a lot of MLS, if you watch a lot of Premier League or other leagues, the big defensive midfielders, sometimes the game calls for it. I think about playing a team like Brownsville, who are really physical, who are, you're gonna have some shoulder to shoulder. You're gonna have a lot of kicking at ankles and things like that. It's nice to have a guy on your bench that if it gets out of hand, you can put him in, or if it's going to be a really physical game, you can have a really smart player right in the middle of the pitch. That's if we think about Rodri, right, from Manchester City, that's his role and that's his profile, man. And I mean, he's pretty good. He won the Ballon d'Or, so I'd say he's a pretty talented guy. And so that profile of player is one that I think is just an ace in the hole that we are going to get to see. I mean, I think Caio will be a regular on the team, and I'm really excited to kind of see what he brings to the squad.
And I appreciate that you said that about his like goal scoring ability, that what we saw in that clip, because we saw it last season. A lot of these games are pretty open. Like you said, there might be games like Brownsville, a real physical team, that type of thing, but a lot of these games are pretty open, and you want to have those players who can make that game-changing play, who can score a goal from distance or create something, whatever it might be. And we've got a number of those players, and so for a guy like Caio who might be able to offer different things, but be able to offer a game-changing play in a game that might be open, some of these games are going to be very back and forth, and we need players who can get in there and score goals at the same time.
Yeah. I mean, at the very least, he puts a shot anywhere close. The defense all of a sudden goes, those midfielders who are tracking back all of a sudden are going, hey, we can't go too far back because we've seen what that guy can do. And then all of a sudden you've stretched your defense a little bit more to maybe open up some room behind them. I mean, it's just it gives opposition more to think about. It gives them kind of more worry about, what they might be leaving behind in order to go track our flying wingers and our attacking forwards.
Yeah,
sure. All 27 wingers we own this team.
Wingers,
who are all just bombing down the wing.
They're just all forward.
That's awesome. Well, Chris, hit us with another.
Yeah. So the next player that I have is Axel Villegas, who is originally from Cordoba, Mexico. I think maybe the only Mexican player that we have. Do we have maybe another? We haven't seen
I think you're right.
Mexico pop up much, but Axel is from Cordoba, Mexico. Originally played at Williams Baptist University, which is an NAIA school. That's where he played last year as a freshman, and now he's signed on and is playing with St. Mary's. Again, we've heard St. Mary's multiple times throughout this roster, just like Faulkner, but he's a talented player who obviously has made that transition, like a lot of other players on this roster, going from one level of college ball to the next. At Williams Baptist last year, he started in 17 games, played a total of 1,500 minutes, just over 1,500 minutes, so played a lot on that back line. Was also first team all-conference, and their squad was conference champion. So doing that in his freshman year, a lot of great experience under his belt. And he brought, I forget the teams, I didn't write them down, but he brought some good kind of club and youth experience in Mexico. As far as his play goes, watching him play, and I mentioned, maybe I didn't mention, he's a fullback. So he's a defender, he's a fullback. Watching some of his clips, not necessarily like a real attacking, like speedy fullback that's getting up the wing. What I saw in his film is he's just a really solid defender. He's closing guys down, winning balls, and then playing forward and stepping forward a bit. But you could just see his like defensive abilities, which is really necessary. And We saw it in Scotty's comments in the announcement as well. He talked about how Axel is just an aggressive defender, has a natural instinct as a defender, and he can play across the back line. So not just as fullback, but he can play in other positions. So exciting young player, and I think he's going to be really versatile when we need coverage in various spots.
Nice.
And that's exciting. Well, and especially, we talked about a lot of the defenders that we've seen that are really, half their clips are in the offensive kind of side of the pitch. It's nice to know, like, we're looking for balance, right? Yeah. And we've seen our center backs that are just stalwart. And it's nice to have a fullback on the squad who we know is just going to have defense in mind. We love the guys flying up, but, defense wins championships. And so we have to have that at the back. So that's really encouraging.
Yep.
Absolutely.
All right, Brian, you got another one for us?
All right. Last one for me. And again, please forgive my pronunciations.
West Texican?
West Texican. All right, so I have Kanata Tiara, 20 years old from Kiyomoto, Japan. University of Hawaii, Hilo, Division II. He's a forward. From what I saw in the film, again, limited moments, but looks like right-footed. Played 18 games, started 8, got 3 goals, led them to an 11-6-1 record. The film that I got, and my notes are skills with his feet. I mean, can step over, cross, a lot of little fun stuff. Has some skill there, but at a young age can still develop. Unselfish, really willing to dish. He'll move out to the left and kind of fill the winger spot, cross across. Very good decision making, and he will take space. If you give him the ball out in midfield, he's going to run at you. If there's a defender standing in front of him, okay, let's see what you got. 1-on-1, you and me. What are you going to do? Can dribble well, wins 1v1s, and great attacker. So, again, when I have limited notes, I always reach out to the guy, the gaffer, Mm-hmm. So he says, technical wizard, has outstanding movement off the ball, and finds himself naturally in goal-scoring opportunities because of his high footballing IQ. A danger anywhere in the final third. Yeah. What else you gonna say, man? I mean, what else you want in the front? We got
high IQ.
Dudes are just like bam, bam, bam. So sub him in, start him. What do you want to do? Watch the film. You gonna watch him? You gonna watch that guy? Who you gonna watch?
Yeah,
I love it. I love this. Like, I hate to follow back on it. The embarrassment of riches.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. What are you gonna do?
And just so many themes, right? As we've talked about all these players, the same words keep coming up, right?
I want to make sure this man is in the running for best hair on the team.
Okay.
So, like, Chris, you missed that last night.
Yeah.
But I'm telling you, best hair on the team. He's a top 3 contender. I promise.
we got dudes and we got dues.
Yes, sir, we do.
There are some impressive heads of hair out there, which is a thing, right? I mean, you got to.
Well, there's only one mustache, only one top mustache.
Yeah, that's right, man. That's exciting. I love anytime Scotty, tells us that guy is smart. High player IQ is just, and I know that was a big theme last year. The goal was to help players develop the mental side of the game, reading the game well, because if you have a ton of coaches, if you have leaders, if you have players with high IQ and technical ability, then the coaching side, you don't have to do near as much, and you can focus on the kind of macro level setup because that everyone is kind of taking care of one another out on the pitch, and I don't think that can be understated.
Yeah. And especially that technicality with this player, and I think it's Shuto, the other player from Japan. This Japanese players just bring in a certain type of technicality. And so, like you're saying, bringing in that high IQ, but also bringing in different styles of play, that just allows the coach to focus on kind of other things, bringing the team together, building that camaraderie, that culture, and then just getting the best out of players. But that's one of the beauties, having players who just bring in different styles and they can bounce and feed off of each other in that way,
Yeah. Well, and kind of like we talked about the gumbo, right? Like having such a mixture of qualities. Yeah, it's fascinating to think how all of that's going to work, but I'm only excited about it.
Yeah.
There's no nervousness. It's more like, the guy who ever thought about like, hey, I wonder what happens if you pair chocolate and peanut butter. Like at some point someone had to think about it and go, maybe these things go together. When you've got the flair, you've got the grit, and then you've got technical ability, and you go, I wonder what happens when you
peanut butter cups.
Yeah, that's right. You've got Reese's, and so and who doesn't love a Reese's? So that's really exciting. Well, Chris, why don't you do one more, because I think you divvied out the players for us to cover, and I'm pretty sure you threw me a grenade over here. So I'm gonna
much appreciation to that. Thank you so much for that.
For sure. I'm glad to get that organized.
Let me say, too, that the spreadsheet that you put together, we can make that available. So the spreadsheet has a list of all of the players. It has their position, where they're playing, stats. It has links to YouTube videos, to Instagram profiles. It is a work of art that Mr. Haig has put together.
Top notch. I mean, dude, I couldn't do this. I mean, no.
Yeah, I mean I love anybody at my work knows I love nerding out with spreadsheets. So I was happy to put this together. And
let your nerd flag fly. Let's go.
That's right.
And it's we don't know yet whether we'll put like season stats in here, but the NPSL website is not the best to navigate. So we'll have to see. Maybe we can start adding some columns.
Start our own site.
Season stats, but we will. Currently, the column that's empty is number, right? And part of the reason that I wanted to do this is this season is so short. We go into these games and it's like, wait, who's this player? And you don't really know until the end of the season who everybody is. Right. So, yeah, like Luke said, this will be, I think it's already made available, but we'll be sure to share it. We can share it on socials, that sort of thing, so it's a public view. But we also do already have it in our Discord, so become a La Tormenta member and you can.
There you go. Will some of this info be on the Chant app as well?
Yeah, we can definitely link it there. We'll put it on the Chant app. Make sure it's on that stream, and people can get the direct link to it.
Yeah, so download that today if you're listening to this. CHANT, no cost, and search for I guess is it the club or La Tormenta?
Well, we'll have to have, so those who are already members, everybody who's in Discord, will send out an email. So you'll be added as a kind of paid member to that Chant app. And then at the watch party and also at games, we'll have a QR code that people can scan. Perfect. And even if they're not a paid member, you can still join and kind of at least be able to see our list of chants and songs that we're planning and brainstorming, working on, and see some other content within that app.
That's great, man. That's a great plug. So tell us about the Flying Dutchman.
Exactly, the Flying Dutchman. I saved him for last on purpose because I'm excited about this player. So Jart van Lieshout, I hope I'm pronouncing his name right, originally from Eindhoven, Netherlands. And yeah, that nickname was dropped on his announcement post, the Flying Dutchman. He was a sophomore. Sophomore this past year. He played for 2 years at Tyler Junior College, so here in Texas. But he is jumping from junior college to D1. So this next year, he's jumping up to Cal State Northridge at the D1 level. And I'm really excited about Jart because he's a winger, but he's a big winger. He's a big guy. He's super physical. Coach Scotty's words in the announcement post were strong, direct, powerful. And watching him play, even just the clips that were on the announcement, the first two clips, goals off of corner kicks, headers, scoring goals off corner. You want players like that who are big, who can get up in the air and can score those opportunities. But he also, in the 2024 season, started 20 games, had 10 goals, 3 assists. He was first team all-conference, all-American scholar athlete. And when he was playing for Tyler Junior College, they were district champions. And in 3 playoff games, Yart had 5 goals. So he's not only scoring goals, he's scoring goals at the right time.
Clutch.
Which you can't be more excited about. And then, yeah, like I said, he's committed to Cal State Northridge. So like some other players on this squad, moving from one level of college soccer up to another level. And just watching him play, and like I said, seeing his size, I can't wait to see him play because I think he's the type of player who can give opposing defenses a lot of trouble.
Yeah, when you, I've been excited ever since we started on this journey of covering players. I've been excited to hear about this guy because as soon as they dropped the picture, it was like, ooh, like it looks like the cover of like Gladiator, right? Yep. Like the guy it's the type of guy that if I saw a rival team post, it'd be like, oh crap.
Absolutely.
Like, he is scary looking. It looks like he's like walking into the Coliseum about to just murder everybody. It was crazy. And then you see Scotty say strong, direct, powerful. Oh, and the guy's name is Yart.
Yeah.
I mean,
absolutely. And it's so funny too. It's so funny, like coming from the Netherlands, you see a lot of Dutch players who are big. There's a lot of big Dutch players. But, you know, Dutch football is also known for, like, total football, a lot of, like, technical ability, that sort of thing. But over the past number of years, we've also had those big Dutch players, those big Dutch forwards who just give opponents a hard time and are really hard to defend. So I think he's going to be that way, and I can't wait to see what he offers and what he brings and just the goals that he's going to score because I know he's going to score some goals for West Texas.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Yeah. And Brian, we're going to need a Yart chant very quickly.
Okay, so let me get in the lab. Let's make it work.
Okay, good. And, you know, just seeing that we had a Dutch guy, you know, it seems like there's some teams in England, you know, that have a lot of Dutch players, maybe even Dutch coach that's doing really well. And so that's exciting. You know, and then Eindhoven, I think of my man, Cody Gakpo from Liverpool FC, played at PSV Eindhoven under a Dutch manager with a Dutch captain. There's something about Dutch football that is just really special and dominated the world of football and changed it forever. And so
different.
Yeah, it totally is. And again, going back to the recipe of all these different things, having that, you know, kind of influence in the squad, it's just, I mean, I'm so happy that the season starts tomorrow.
Absolutely.
Like, I'm so ready for this.
Yeah, full send. Let's go.
Yeah. So, last player on the squad, and speaking of chance, he's one of our own. Alan Martinez.
Alan.
One of our own.
Let's go, Alan.
So, Alan, we know this player well, right? This will be his 3rd season at West Texas FC. Graduated just right down the road from Legacy High School. Is just one of the kindest, just most kind of he's kind of a quiet guy. You know, we've gotten to spend a lot of time with him. He was there at the coach whenever we got to meet Scotty. Alan showed up from West Texas A&M, where he's playing football. He is a fullback defender, and he if you've been to any of the games, anytime Alan goes in, it's awesome because the whole crowd just erupts. We know that's our guy, right? He's
hometown hero.
That's right. I mean, it's not just players that we're excited about. It's us represented on the pitch for our squad.
Yeah.
At his home stadium. There's nothing better than that.
Well, look at it, man. It's like, how many nationalities are represented out there on the pitch? And you get a dude from Midland, freaking Texas. Let's go. Get out there in the mix with all of them. Not just our squad, the other squad. So whenever we're playing, you get a little bit of that flavor from Midland. Let's go. I am so excited to see Allen back out there, man. It's going to be so awesome.
Yeah, I remember whenever we were at the meet the coach kind of event at Tall City, he walked in and I don't believe they had announced him yet. And
Nope.
so all three of us were like,
That guy right there.
and
We know
we're
him.
just trying to eavesdrop on the conversation, just hoping that we get something. And they were very cool about it, right? They didn't give anything away, but we kind of felt it, right? You could kind of feel like, okay, I see what's going on. But a lot of what he talked about when we saw him and got to chat with him was just how much he's grown as a player. And then even Scotty in the post said, this is our guy. We know him, but we haven't seen this version of him, right? Because his progression over the years has just gone up, and especially at West Texas A&M, it sounds like he's taken a huge step upward, and they've had some really great results against some really powerful teams. So I think Allen is going to really surprise us this year, and in the best way possible, because we want our guy. He's one of our own.
Yep. And how awesome, like you said, just to have a local hometown player to root for.
Yeah.
But at the same time, as we've profiled all these players, like you said, Brian, I lost count of how many nationalities we have represented.
Yes, sir.
And my biggest thing going into this season, looking at this roster, is just how awesome this is, how cool it is to have this squad coming together right here in Midland, Odessa. And
Yes, sir.
like we've said, like La Tormenta, as we have as a little saying for us, West Texas is the best Texas. And
Amen.
It's so awesome to be ready for this season and ready to just be proud of where we live, be proud of this squad that's coming together, and be stoked to cheer on these players, including Allen as one of our local hometown boys.
Let's go, man.
I can't think of a better way to end this podcast is, you talked about the pride of having one of our guys on the squad. I am just kind of blown away by the level of seriousness, of professionalism that our owners, the Cannons, that Melissa, who works for the team, for every single player, for every single coach, it's one of those things that you're just like, I think for the love of the sport and for the love of my community, I would be out there regardless. But the fact that there are so many people investing so much time and energy and resources into our team, and not to mention the sponsors, right? That really kind of provide the ability to go find these guys from all over the world, to bring in a coach like Scotty, and to have it be treated so seriously, and for it to be treated so respectfully is something that it makes me walk taller. It makes me walk with my chest out, and to wear the team's colors and to support this squad is just the highlight of my summer, for the past 3 years. And I'm just really thankful. I'm overwhelming gratitude to you guys for all the work that you guys have put into this. And so, we need some games. That's what needs to happen.
It's only just beginning. Exactly. We need some games to go to, and can't wait to cheer these guys on.
Yeah.
Ooh, fellas.
All right. So last word before we watch our first game, gents. Let's kick it over to you, Chris.
3 points, baby. 3 points. I can't wait for those 3 points. I'm looking forward to our win. So that's my last word. I can't wait to see some goals scored. Can't wait to see these players in action. The style that we bring this season, and I know we're going to come home from that trip to Fort Worth with 3 points.
Yeah.
Fellas.
You look like you're just about to pop, man.
I wish we were in person right now. I'm going to tell y'all. It ain't long. Few days. And we about to pop this thing off. The start to the title reign right now. All gas, no brakes. Cheers. Let's go.
That's what I'm talking about. Gosh, yeah, I'm just, the adrenaline is already starting, and we're sitting here on Tuesday, at least by the time people listen to this, it's only one day waiting, but I can feel already the electricity going through. And the best thing, absolute best thing about being a fan of this squad is the people that I've gotten to meet and talk to, whether it be players, coaches, and most notably you fellas.
Let's go.
And I can't wait to see kind of how La Tormenta grows, all of the other people that we get to bring into the fold and just kind of share that community and rally around, a silly little game that just means so much to us.
But it's a beautiful game, my guys. It's a beautiful game.
It is.
And it's going to be so much more.
So we've already had 2 games, right? We saw kind of what happened with Fort Worth and Oklahoma, and talked about that's our first 2 games.
Our time now. Our time now.
That's right. And then we also saw that the game against Arkansas and Brownsville. And Brownsville is one of those that, I don't know, man. I'm ready. I'm ready for that game in a big way. I didn't like it last season. I didn't like it at all. And so I'm ready for some revenge there. But Brownsville did lose their first game against Arkansas, so that one ended up 2-1. But as you can expect, it was a gritty game. It was a lot of whistle blowing, a lot of yelling, a lot of just physical, gritty play. Man, it looked like a CONCACAF game, and so we can. I think we got the squad to handle it. Plus, we got Yart.
Exactly.
Let's go, baby.
All right, so see you guys tomorrow, Tall City, 7 p.m. Is that the
7 p.m., 7:30 kickoff. Let's go.
Yeah.
Be loud, be proud.
Be there
It's going to
early.
be lit.
Absolutely.
We'll see you guys there.
All right. See you there.
All right.